You know, folks, less than 12 hours ago, news broke that CM Punk apparently has walked out on WWE. Now, I can understand that this comes as a shock to a lot of fans. You know, I read this, it came as a shock to me. But the more I think about it, and the more I've read on it, and the fact that I've seen quotes in certain areas, if you will, of basically quotes of saying he quit WWE or he quote-unquote walks out of WWE, I don't think it really takes a rocket scientist to know or see that those quotes in some of those lines kind of give away the fact that this might be, and I strongly believe this, that this might be a storyline and a work. Here's why. You got various wrestling sites, including TMZ, reporting this. Now, you know, when you have TMZ report it, then you know possibly it's a big deal. But TMZ may be questioning it too, but it is a big deal, despite storyline or not. It is a big deal. And here's why. CM Punk is one of your top guys, if not probably one of the top guys in your company, and he just decides to walk out. That puts you in a very uncomfortable predicament, if you know what I mean. Now, come Monday after Raw, we heard nothing at that time of CM Punk walking out of the company. We heard nothing on that. All we heard was WWE had to rewrite the program because of the fact that they got egg on their face after this past Sunday at the Rumble. So they had to rewrite what they did. I mean, they're even considering now having Daniel Bryan walk out of the chamber with the World Championship, and thus making the main event at WrestleMania 30 just like the main event was 10 years before, and that is a triple threat, which would be understandable because it's the old saying of it begins again. Now, now I can understand WWE rewriting stuff. But all of a sudden you have various sources coming out and saying, oh, well, they rewrote because this is what happened, because CM Punk walked out, and this is why, and that's why. And it's like, seriously? I mean, I can, okay, let's say for the sake of argument, because I know there's going to be people here. I know Jeff Shiegel's going to be talking about this, no doubt. I know various other people will be talking about it. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say CM Punk leaving is legit. Let's look at it from that standpoint right now. Let's say him leaving is legit. One, you can't blame someone like CM Punk for legitimately leaving if he did. I mean, here's a guy that you have pushed to the moon, that you continuously try to push, and yet you're putting him in situations that even he feels is unnecessary. You know, here's a guy that supposedly is like a leader in the locker room, and yet none of the higher-ups want to hear him out. You know, here's a guy that, you know, has come out and legitimately has told the WWE backstage, hey, look, just because you're bringing back all these guys as part-time players or for short term, like 2 years, doesn't mean they should automatically get pushes. It means it means if you're going to bring them back part-time or on a short 2-year basis or whatever, they should be treated the same as each and every one of us. They should have to earn their rights to the championship. They should re-earn their spot in the position. I mean, they should re-earn the spot and position in the company. That's basically what CM Punk has been vocal about, and nobody can blame him. Nobody can blame him, all right? Now you got various other people, Bully Ray, Gabe Sapolsky, all kind of buying into the legitimacy, I guess you could say, of this situation. But when one thinks about it, if it's legit, again, one can understand his frustration and why he'd want to walk. Secondly, some people have said the legitimacy could be dealt with the fact that he's burnt out and needs a mental break. 2, 3, I should say. Some could say it is due to injury because some people have noticed that CM Punk was down for a while during the Rumble match and stuff, so maybe it's due to the fact that he needs to heal up from injuries. Maybe he was told by his doctors, hey, just go home, just don't say anything, just go, because, you do what you feel is right. And, that might be the case too, who knows? But that all depends, ladies and gentlemen, if it's legit. Because you see, if it is legit, then why hasn't WWE.com talked about this? Why haven't we seen a video from Vince McMahon or Triple H or Stephanie indicating that CM Punk has walked on them? Why haven't we heard anything from the WWE themselves? You know why? You know why we haven't heard anything from them? Because honestly, if you don't hear anything from them directly, then that pretty much tells you that this is a work. Now again, I'm not going to dispute the fact that it could, well, I'm kind of disputing that it's legit, but I'm not putting it past the fact that it could be legit, it could be real. I'm not putting it past that. But what I'm saying, if you will, what I'm saying is if this was legit, then why isn't WWE saying so? Why isn't WWE.com reporting it? Why isn't Stephanie or Vince or Triple H coming on camera via YouTube or .com and saying CM Punk has left? Why aren't they doing that? Because one, it's an obvious sign that it's a work. And if it's a work, it's obviously turning out to be a very good work because one, they're getting a lot of attention, they're getting a lot of publicity, and 2, one can't blame WWE for probably having to do something like this. And here's why. You see, first of all, how could somebody... First of all, again, you think about it, why does it take so long for a source to come out and say, oh, well, the reason for the rewrites is because one of the reasons was CM Punk left. Why does it take so long for that to happen? It doesn't. Second of all, WWE realizes, like I mentioned earlier, that they had egg on their face after the Rumble. That what they originally tried to plan to do backfired in their face. And that fans are going to pretty much be riding their butts, if you will, riding their butts every time, even at Elimination Chamber, if they don't follow through and give Daniel Bryan the push he deserves and ultimately give him the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. They know that. So they've probably come up with a plan. Maybe they went to CM Punk and they probably asked him, CM Punk, what do we do? And maybe they all collaborated together. We don't know. Maybe they collaborated together. Maybe CM Punk made the suggestion of, hey, you know what? They would never see, let's say, me walking out. Why don't we do that? Make it believable. Make it leak out that I've walked out of the company. Blah, 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 blah. you know, and that could be the reason for it. Because, like I said, WWE realizes that no matter how hard they try to fight against the grain, they're not going to get fans to buy into the whole, the whole Daniel Bryan being held down situation. They're not going to buy into the whole, Daniel Bryan's not going to really get his push, so you know what, maybe we ought to just accept Orton versus Batista at Mania. They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept that. And again, I think WWE is working us. And I think maybe, this is my opinion, I think maybe Punk's in on it. Because let's not forget one thing. Let's not forget one thing. Punk has had a history for outsmarting the smart marks, if you will. The smarks, if you will. He's had a history of doing this. Remember, Ring of Honor. Everybody thought he was leaving the night he won the Ring of Honor title, but it turned out it was a swerve. It was a work. He had worked the crowd. Internet or not, he had worked the crowd. He outsmarted them. And this was at a time when the internet, just like now, was very prominent in trying to spoil what was going to happen. So he stayed ahead of the game. Remember that. Remember that. He's done this before, so he's probably working with WWE to do it again so that it throws us off. So that it throws us off to the point that it not only sounds like it's believable, and not only it sounds like it's legit, but when we find out that it's actually a work, which some of us already, you have NoDQ.com putting up a poll right now asking whether it's real or not, whether it's a legit or a storyline. You have a lot of fans questioning whether it's legit or a work. And that's what WWE wants. You have various wrestling news sources and sites, and reporters, and you have wrestling reporters and communists, and various media outlets like TMZ and such reporting this. And that's what WWE wants. They want you to believe it's legit. They want you to think, he really did. And in the end, they're going to come out and they're going to say, we got you this time. We pulled one over on you guys. And you know what? They're not going to come out and say anything. They're going to do whatever it takes. They're going to make you keep guessing. That is why, unless I am proven wrong, unless CM Punk does not show up even after July, if CM Punk does not show up even after July, then I will believe that he's gone. And I will. I will truly believe he is done with this company. Or unless WWE comes out and says something themselves, then I will truly believe he's gone. But I don't think he is. And I don't think this is legit. If it's legit, then hey, it's legit. And I don't blame CM Punk for leaving. But I don't think it is. And I think what this is just a work. This is something that probably they probably worked with CM Punk on because maybe they've realized they got to come up with something to replace the debacle that was the Daniel Bryan Authority storyline, because they realized people aren't buying into this crap no matter how hard you try to say, let's do this and that, and they'll still support Bryan. No. WWE's coming to realize fans are going to keep crapping on them until they get what they want. So, honestly, folks, it's just my opinion. Again, if it is legit, then hey, I don't blame it. But if it's a work, then right now it's starting out as a very good work. And it's something that WWE obviously desperately needs to do And you know what? This is the person they should have been working with on something like this from the beginning, because this is a guy, like I mentioned, let's not forget, that back in Ring of Honor, in his final months there, worked the crowd into thinking he was leaving the night he won the Ring of Honor title, and he swerved us. Get it? Alright, that's all I'm going to say on it. You let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'm out.